I want to thank all of our vendors today here for their participation and all of you in the audience for your time and attention. I hope this venue will move us forward in creating a more connected community of wildfire mitigation practitioners and also support us in scaling up our efforts to live safely with wildfire. Now I'm going to turn it over to our moderator for today, Melanie Hogan, who is CFSC's Chief Development Officer and the architect behind the FireSafe vendor list. Thank you, Melanie.
Thank you, JC. And want to extend a warm welcome to everyone on the call today. We're really pleased at the great turnout. We have right now 56 people with us today and over 100 people registered. So I'm sure some people will continue to come on. We have a great lineup of businesses presenting today from a diverse set of products and services. We'll jump into the presentations, but I wanted to mention a few housekeeping items. We'll have a Q&A session after all of the presentations, but if you'd like to add your questions to the Q&A portal before then, as people are presenting, you're welcome to do so. For any technical questions, just feel free to use the chat function. We will be addressing those questions through that. And then also want to mention, if it's not already, that we're going to post the FireSafe vendor list link in the chat if you haven't had the opportunity to download it. The businesses presenting today are in this publication as well as many others. So I'll just jump right into it. I wanted to first mention who's on the call today. So we have Valerie Reddemann and Lindsay Steinberg with Blue Flamingo Marketing, Anthony Powers, Oliver Kaufman, and Peter Adeli with California FireSafe Solutions, Marko Lisac with Lisac General Engineering, and James.Greer with Wildfire Defense Mesh. Okay, so we're going to bring Valerie and
Lindsay
on, here we go. There you are. Great, you're sharing. Ask you to start your video, and Valerie as well. Okay, so here's Valerie and Lindsay. Thank you for joining us today. Just want to say a few words about Blue Flamingo Marketing and introduce your business. They're a creative messaging, communications, and PR firm equipped with unique experiences in pre-fire and post-fire education. They have award-winning, state-recognized public education programs, and we're happy to have them start us off as the first presenter. So take it away.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for having us today too. And just as a quick little thing, I noticed that we're getting popped up, Eileen, it says we can't start our video because it was disabled by the host. So I'm hoping you'll be able to maybe on the back end enable that if that's a quick thing that's coming up. But you might be surprised to see a marketing company here today and maybe even wondering how we fit into what you all do to educate and provide resources to the public to affect behavior change and preparing for wildfire. Well, creating lasting behavior change is exactly what we do here at Blue Flamingo. We got our start in this area immediately following the Camp Fire. We work with the town of Paradise to reconnect their residents and basically bring them home to rebuild. That rebuilding process gave us an intimate understanding of what it takes to modify behavior change for lasting impact to coexist in a wildfire-prone area. We teach people as much what not to do as what to do. And that in of itself is what really helps to drive that change. Using this expertise, we work with organizations like yours throughout the state to amplify your programs and create lasting impactful behavior change. And we have a proven award-winning recipe for success. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Lindsay and take it from here.
So you might be wondering why work with us. So we listed off the top 5 reasons why anyone would want to work with us within this category. So the first would be you live in a high fire risk area and too few of your property owners are taking any action. You've got grants and resources, but nobody's signing up. You have education resources that get no traction. So you're sending things out for people to use and utilize, and nobody knows what to do with them. Your FireSafe Council needs visibility, but you're purely just out of time and you don't have the hands to do it. Where for us, it takes us half of the time and it's what we do all day, every day. Your outreach efforts keep keep up or don't keep up. We know that we're in a year-round fire season now. So if you're doing nothing, that means you're falling behind. So you might also wonder what that means that we do, like what is the output of what we're giving back to fire safe councils or anyone that falls within the needing to educate your community members on how to live within a wildfire state. So we do it in a few different ways, all customized to your area, but you would see us utilizing your networks and bringing to life community meetings. We would do photography and video production. We do event setup. We also have data gathering capabilities. So if you're pushing out a specific, say, chipper program or something within your area that nobody's utilizing, we can use our data gathering services to then pull in what messages are working and what aren't, so that we can then push further signups and get those resources used. We also create websites. So if your fire safe council or community resource that you have doesn't have an online presence, we would create that education hub for you. We do direct mail. We also utilize social media and really make sure that the message that you're trying to get out to your community members is utilized. And as Val mentioned, creates that behavior change that we all know that we need in order to be living in the state of California. With that, I'm going to show a short video that is a good depiction of a project that we've worked on here in our local area and how we take those pieces and bring them to life.
Hi, Butte County. Wildfire prevention begins with you. Welcome to Be Ready Butte, your fire safety resource hub. Be Ready Butte will help you get ready, be ready, and stay ready for wildfires. To learn more about fire prevention, visit BeReadyButte.com.
So with that,
Hi,
I
Butte
would
County.
also say,
Wildfire prevention begins with
stop. I would also say that we are not a nice to have as far as services go when it comes to educating the community. We're a need to have. And we look forward to learning more about each and every one of you that are on the call as well.
Thank you.
And we're going to hand it back over.
Yep, Melanie's trying to talk. You're muted, Melanie.
Sorry about that. Thank you for that today. Okay, so next up is Anthony Powers, Oliver Kaufman, and Peter Adeli with California Fire Safe Solutions. Here comes.
Okay, got the video up.
Okay, just 1 second. Let me get Peter here. All right, great. So just a few words to introduce your company. This is a passionate team that has a data-driven approach that equips clients with fire behavior modeling, vegetation management, home hardening, wildfire defense systems, insurance specialists, and industry professionals. They deliver tailored solutions to reduce hazards, safeguard assets, and prioritize insurability. So thanks for coming here today. I'm going to hand it over to all of you.
Hi, good afternoon. We are California Fire Safe Solutions, and thank you for having us. Slide. So you're at the end of the slideshow. Very good first slide there. This is our mission statement, and it is empowering resilience collaboratively, transforming communities for a fire adaptive future. And our vision is to arm our clients with the information and data to strengthen their position, to provide options to implement critical necessary action. My name is Anthony Powers. I'm a firefighter with local government. I'm a former hotshot. I've been in risk management and emergency operations for over 24 years, and I am a wildfire specialist.
Hello, everybody. My name is Peter Adeli. I am the logistics and business management end of the company. I am a 30-year business owner, CEO, and U.S. Customs broker, and partners with Anthony and Oliver.
Hi, guys. My name is Oliver. I handle the construction side of our business and developing new ways to set the standard for building resilient homes.
All right, everybody. Our approach to doing things. First, we identify wildfire risk using a very comprehensive wildfire modeling technology called Property Guardian. Our wildfire propagation model discovers the legitimate risk and potential for loss for your particular community or home. We understand the potential for fire behavior risk and guide with our mitigation strategy and recommendations. We prioritize mitigation of hazards and implement mitigation operations. The strategy is we obtain a report, we understand your risk, we develop a strategy, and we actually implement it for you.
Slide. Okay. So we are fire behavior modeling, right? It's the most high-tech stuff I've ever seen, and I look at a ton of models. As a frontline firefighter, the platforms and the affiliate partnerships that we have with Greenfield Solutions is an insurance company. So they are an MGA, and they have the data that guides our efforts in mitigations. Like, here's a couple examples for the city of Yucaipa with the CAL FIRE constituent on the left, identifying the actual value in that geographic area and the amount of structures at risk. Here's another client of ours in Eagle Rock, where actually showing your defensible space and how some of those things are hard to achieve. So as professional consultants and general contractors, we come in to provide you value-driven solutions. This tech is granular, right? It's after the low-level fixed-wing aircraft, and if you look at the photo on the right, it provides you fire behavior modeling in the built environment with some of the best fire behavior modeling software that we use as firefighters today. And so here's some more images. This is with infrared LiDAR technology. It'll give you your fuel moisture, your fuel content, continuity, things like that, because you either want to go from the outside in or the inside out when it comes down to your mitigations. And then it also gets down into the exposure based on percentiles with your local web data. And this is captured quarterly. So moving on into some of the things that we know in regulations with vegetation management, AB 3074, home hardening, zone 0 compliance is coming per the state, CAL FIRE, and the new adoption of the International Wildland Urban Interface, Title 24, Chapter 7A. This is what we do, and as contractors, we can offer you wildfire defense system, home hardening, veg management, tree removal, etc. Slide.
From the contracting side of this, I joined with Anthony and Peter because I had clients mainly in the Palisades and Malibu that were looking to home harden or make their properties more resilient. So partnering with them gave me data-driven options to provide to my clients to build better solutions. Now, I've built for 22 years in the Palisades and Malibu, and having seen how many of my clients have lost their home, we're looking for this technology to drive what is the new standard of building, because I don't want to see my clients ever have to worry about losing their home in the future for as much as we can ensure that.
Back up here. So here's some examples of the tree service, certified climbers, artists. It's not a rinky-dink operation. This is the real deal. Everybody's licensed and bonded. Here's some hazard fill reduction, either mechanical or by hand, or robotic tools also that we can use. Actually getting some large scale mitigation done for communities and or the individual homeowners. Slide. We have a lot of relationships, a giant network, and we're here to share that with our clients and help them move the needle. Closing statement, slide. The challenges that lie ahead will be tasking, but we're here to help and simplify the process. We approach every project with a comprehensive risk analysis and have the network and resources and relationships with the industry leaders to achieve your desired results. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. Very much appreciate your presentation and being here today. Trying to find, yeah, here we go, Anthony. Okay. Oliver. There we go. Okay. So, and if you could stop sharing screen now, thank you. So our next presenter is Marko Lisac, and he's with Lisac General Engineering. Let's get Marko up on screen. They specialize in land clearing services for homeowners, large property owners and contractors in the Bay Area. They have 35 years of experience with state-of-the-art, highly efficient machinery. And whether you're preparing for construction, managing overgrown acreage, or mitigating wildfire risks, their experienced team can help. So over to you, Marko.
Hello. Thank you, Melanie, for the introduction.
You're
Hi,
very
my name is-
welcome, Marko. You might want to share your the presenter slideshow, because we're seeing like your notes.
Oh. How is that?
Great.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So thank you for the introduction. Hi, my name is Marko. I am the owner of Lisac General Engineering. We specialize in land clearing and mastication services, creating fire-safe properties. We have specialized team ready to take on any projects you may have. We mainly serve the Bay Area, including counties listed on the vendor list. Now, a little bit about myself. As you'll see, this isn't just a business for me, but something I am very passionate about. I am a local native to the Bay Area. I grew up on a large property with the need of land management. My father had a construction tractor on the property that we would use together to maintain our land. Learning from him, I developed a passion for this type of work. Things such as rototilling, keeping the weeds down, pruning, trimming trees, and keeping our property fire safe at a very young age. I can proudly say I have 35 years of experience. I started at a very young age of 8 years old, going around in our local community, knocking on doors to ask if I could rototill their yards. Within a year, word spread from neighbor to neighbor that there's a little kid with a construction tractor that does beautiful work and taking care of properties, doesn't damage any trees, leaving everything immaculate and better than anyone they have had before. As you can see, my upbringing and knowledge that I have accumulated since a young age has allowed me to see projects differently. We have the ability to visualize what we want the completed project to look like. It takes specialized equipment as well as skilled operators to get the job done efficiently and safely. I wanted to highlight a couple projects in the next few slides. This particular property was logged at one point and had a bunch of stumps. So this is a before and after picture of removing stumps and underbrush, giving the property a park-like setting. Our service really helped with opening up the property and making it visually much more appealing and fire safe. This next one was a property in Redwood City up on Highway 35, 5 acres completely engulfed in Scotch broom and poison oak. The property was not walkable. After clearing the property, now usable and will be in the process of being developed. More importantly, how we support wildfire safety starts with assessing the property with the client. We listen to their needs and then work and the work they're requesting, but we also educate at the same time on wildfire safety and the importance of creating defensible space. Upon completing a project, I express the importance of maintaining the property, especially in the fire safe areas we discussed. Please feel free to get in touch with any questions or any projects you would like to collaborate on. The QR code on the slide will take you to my website. And then, as you can see, my little voice, the future of Lisac General Engineering. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Marko. All right. And then next we have James.Greer, excuse me, with Wildfire Defense Mesh. And James and Wildfire Defense Mesh, they have a 1/16 inch patent pending mesh that blocks 98% of dangerous embers and reduces radiant heat by approximately 38% and diffuses flames. It comes in rolls and screens for vents, decks, and more. And they help create community resilience through affordable, high impact solutions. So thanks for being here with us today, James. On to you.
No worries. Thank you for having me. So I'm James.Greer, the founder of Wildfire Defense Mesh. Firstly, just want to thank the Fire Safe Council for today, but also for creating the vendor list. It's a great initiative. So Wildfire Defense Mesh, we have a range of mesh products that are effective against the 3 threats of wildfire. When NFPA, IBHS, or any of the fire authorities suggest using screening to retrofit vents or enclosing decks, etc., that's exactly what our product is used for. My family, we've been in manufacturing wire for over 100 years. In 2008, we had some horrific bushfires in Australia, and our government updated our national building code because of that. We then developed, as a family business, a line of bushfire mesh products, and about 4 years ago, I brought that to the US as Wildfire Defense Mesh. Our products are low cost and high impact. They're really simple to measure, cut, and install for both retrofit and new builds. As you can see, we service all of California and the United States as well. And we work really closely with homeowners, builders, contractors, agencies, fire departments, and communities. The LA fires were really transformational for our business. Not only have homeowners started to take a lot of action since, but our warehouse is up in LA. We were receiving phone calls about what do we do when the fires had started, how do we find ember mesh, etc. So we opened up our warehouse and donated some rolls to homeowners. They created these groups where they would go out and cut the mesh and hand it off to other homeowners who are in at-risk areas where the fire front was going to come through, and provided them the tools, etc., to be able to do immediate home hardening. It was great to see this initiative, but it also gave us a lot of learnings about what we need to do in order to decrease barriers and make it easier for mass retrofitting. Since the subsequent fires as well and the uptake, we've been able to really develop a community program, and I'll talk about it a bit later on, but we're really excited about this because it's been getting really positive feedback as to how we can decrease barriers. Just to talk about the different meshes that we have in the specifications. So one on the left is our Wildfire Defense Mesh 98. So it's our 1/16 inch, originally from Australia, patent pending. What Melanie was talking about before, with 98% effective in stopping dangerous embers, around a 38% reduction in radiant heat, diffusing direct flame, fully compliant with Chapter 7A when installed vertically. That's both retrofit and new build. It's the same mesh that's in our Office of State Fire Marshal building material list for our foundation vents. And then we also have our 1/8 inch, which is our Wildfire Defense Mesh 75. We kind of call that our ember mesh. It meets a minimum of code, good place to begin as well. Applications, I mean, the main applications we really talk about are retrofitting vents, enclosing decks, etc. But the important thing about this slide, and you can see more applications on our websites and before and after photos, etc., but is the different width rolls we have. So 8 inch, 24, 36, 49, and 60. They're all applicable for different applications to make it easier. And this is available in both our Wildfire Defense Mesh 98, but also our 75. So as I mentioned, available in roles, we also have pre-made screens. So for foundation and soffit, they're compliant with Chapter 7A. We have our Office of State Fire Marshal Building Materials List vent screen. So that's a foundation vent for new builds. We also provide like retrofit packs, frames, etc., to make it easier for communities. As I mentioned with our community program, it was really developed to help communities take action together. We were seeing that a lot of outreach after the fires as to what can we do. And so we've put together some explainer videos. The first one is really about these tips as to what you can do with your 0 to 5 defensible space, but also some lessons learned from the LA fires. So just say moving your trash cans away from your house on a red flag day, etc. So this was from the investigations afterwards. And then the second video is about how to create a community program, a community screening program, I should say, and that's what I'm going to quickly play for you now. But yeah, feel free afterwards to jump on the website, the QR code's here. Also reach out to get samples for your community events, happy to provide them and happy to answer any questions afterwards.
Wildfires are unpredictable, but when communities work together, the resilience work can make a real difference. In combination with your defensible space work, one of the easiest and most affordable ways to further protect homes is by screening vents and openings in the 0 to 5 foot non-combustible zone. A single vulnerable home can put others at risk, but when neighbors act together, they build a wildfire resilient community. Embers are the #1 cause of home ignition. Wildfire Defense Mesh 98 helps block 98% of dangerous embers while allowing air to flow. An easy, low-cost solution with high impact. Register your community. Count and measure your vents and decks. Log information onto your community page. Receive, measure, cut, and distribute your rolls. Install the mesh on vents and decks. Celebrate your work. Wildfire Defense Mesh helps communities measure, calculate, and install mesh together, making it affordable and efficient. Wildfire safety starts with you, but we're stronger together. Wildfires are
Sorry. Great, yeah, so feel free to reach out and happy to answer any questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Okay, so I'm going to bring all of our presenters back on. We can start going through some questions. All right, great, everybody. All right, we're missing Peter.
I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Okay. But we're missing your other team member,
Oliver,
Oliver.
he had to step out for a second.
Okay.
He'll be
Great.
back any minute.
Okay, so first question is for James. Can you provide, and this is from Cheryl Drinkwater, can you explain the Frames Mesh product application?
Yeah, hey Cheryl. So the application that is, so for the frame products is retrofit and also a new build for foundation and also for soffit vents.
Great. This is for Lindsay and Valerie. How would an organization gauge success in using services like yours?
Yeah, so we have a few different ways in which you would gauge success. One would be you would see an overall increase in compliance if you have some type of code enforcement or regulations within your area that you're trying to get homeowners to adhere to and the part that they're doing within creating defensible space or home hardening. Another way would be through just overall engagement of the actual like utilizing of the resources that are created. So more signups for your chipper program, more utilization of the staff that you have within on resources that you're providing, and the education that you're pushing out has trackable metrics to it to show who's using it and how.
Great. This is a general question, and perhaps people can chime in that might have thoughts or answers, but how has the recent devastation of the LA area fires affected your businesses? Have you noticed more interest in the product services you provide given the increased media and consumer attention of wildfire risk?
I raised my hand, so
yeah.
I don't want to have to talk over anybody. I can tell you right now, as far as the recent events in Los Angeles, it has been completely devastating. And Oliver can speak to as a builder, as he's primarily a builder in the Palisades. The level of awareness is there, and we're at the point now where people need to truly understand what the potential is, and that's what we're trying to provide to them. It's affecting businesses in a way where it's like, well, there's billions of dollars that lost in these fires. Communities and a lot of fire councils that are on this, you guys understand the needle that has to get moved here, and it's a pretty big needle. When it comes down to home hardening, the regulations that are coming, what's going to be required, it really is going to be a shared responsibility, and everybody's got to kind of understand and find their lane and their level of acceptance for what's going to happen. And I think that's what we're trying to do ultimately is to create a good understanding and say, hey, we know that this is a heavy lift, but let's break this up and start doing it one piece at a time, because it really is going to take everybody. You know, when you look out at the state, you look at the communities that have been developed, thriving for a long time, there's a lot of work ahead because the landscape needs it. And that's what we're here to try to do. Safer for communities, safer for the public, safer for firefighters, for me, to go out and do our jobs and do them efficiently and effectively.
Yeah, thank you for that, Anthony. Well, in the to keep us on time, we're running a little bit over. Or actually, no, we're not. It's only 1:04. For some reason, I thought we started at noon. So we're going to go on to, well, since we have a little bit more time, does anybody else want to chime in on that question? Because I know it's probably affected a lot of your businesses.
I would just echo what Anthony was saying, that our business and as far as the effects of it are in line with what he's saying as well. We all understand that there's a piece of the puzzle that we can contribute, and each piece is equally important. And the fires down in LA just brought to light the need that we need to all come together, as well as speed up what it is that we're working on.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Well, I just think as an industry, it's, I mean, the amount of participation that you're seeing at the community level is considerable now. If you're having a community meeting, it might used to have like 5 or 10 people and you're getting 20, 50 plus more now. And so it's really as the industry working together and helping out to create as much resilience as we can.
Yeah, great. For Marko with Lisac Engineering, someone on the call is asking, how long does it project typically take that you engage in with your work?
It really just depends on the size of the property, location, and conditions. As far as is it very overgrown and how big are some of the brush trees, and if it's steep, accessibility is a big part to it. So it's something that we determine when we come out and do a physical site visit.
Yeah. Yeah, I imagine it depends very much on the property and the project or the land itself.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, James, I have another question for you. May we order sample of the wildfire mesh, and do we need to work with an engineer or contractor to make sure adequate ventilation is available with a 1/16 inch screen?
Yeah, so feel free to jump on the website and you can request free samples. So we'll send them out to homeowners, communities, etc. And yeah, we talk about net-free area on the website. We give you the calculations as well. It is always advised to work with a local builder and regulations around the net-free area side of it.
Okay, great. To Marko, would you come to our community and provide a cost estimate so that we can apply for a Cal OES hazard mitigation grant?
Yes, we would.
Okay, let's see here. Got a lot of good questions here. Also for James, could your mesh be used to enclose eaves?
It has been used in the past, and it hasn't been fully tested for that. So some people will use it as a means of doing that, but if it needs to meet Chapter 7A requirements, etc., then it isn't something that should be used.
Okay, great. And let's see if I've gotten any more here. What innovation trends are you seeing in community-based wildfire mitigation that you think we should be paying attention to in the wildfire mitigation space? And again, this could be open for anybody to discuss or answer. Certainly a lot of technology that I've become aware of in starting this job with AI and all the fire detection that's happening. And there are vendors in the vendor list that are working on these technologies, not anybody necessarily here today, but that is something that's definitely ramping up.
I would say to piggyback on that too, Melanie, there is a big trend in AI and traffic modeling. I don't know if you've heard of Ladris, but they actually can model different disasters and the amount of time it would take to evacuate and do things along those lines. So taking the knowledge of fire as well as any natural disaster and understanding that you can prepare even better ahead of time. It's been a big trend that people are looking into, like how do you prepare for the unpredictable?
Yeah, Anthony, you're on mute.
Hi. Yeah. As far as the tech goes, it's in the innovative stuff. Yeah, AI is a big part of it. The reason why we are affiliate partners with Green Shield Risk Solutions is because the insurance companies care about the built environment, maybe not so much about the fuels. And that's a challenge in our service. There's not a ton of technology that models the built environment. We utilize their tech, which is comprised of a bunch of different platforms to truly model the impact to the values at risk. And it's specific to wildfire. And the reason why I trust it so much is because some of the platforms is the same stuff that we use when we're out, doing suppression. And this isn't a new problem, right? The LA fires just made it a lot louder. It's been a problem for a while, and for the folks that have been paying attention, they know it's you lose sleep at night if you live in one of these areas, and so it's time to start taking a look at it. These reports are available within minutes to a person's property, and everything's custom and scalable for community, government, fire departments, and that's why I am actively bringing it to all these different areas.
Yeah. Anybody else want to talk about, innovations, things that they're hearing or seeing?
Yeah, I can talk a little bit on the actual construction side and the home hardening side.
Mm-hmm.
With this, recent loss of homes in Southern California, it had been in development already, but a different set of standards that you plan for a new construction, and then we can take those standards and adapt them for a retrofit for an existing house. And those new standards are going to far surpass what was previously there, and also give a community with enough involvement a chance that, episode like this doesn't happen the same again. And that goes from, you know, autonomous water supplies to backup generators, different building materials, dispersal devices, which, you know, what I saw a little bit in the Palisades fire was that people wanted to stay behind to defend their homes. And that, again, just is so unsafe and makes it unsafe for the firefighters as well. So we want to create a product that, you know, is far more resilient so that people are comfortable evacuating earlier and making the whole environment much safer for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, great. There's a really good question that came in around certifications or trainings, and the participant is interested in knowing which certifications or trainings you prioritize for your team to ensure you are offering the best quality service to your customers and community served. So I imagine California Fire Safe Solutions, that's part of what you do, and maybe Lisac engineering is maybe Wildfire Defense Mesh either too.
Yeah, I can answer some of that. Because of the network that we have, and you know, me having as much time as I've had in the fire service, primarily wildland fire suppression being a national resource. It's not just California. Our technology is available in the CONUS, in the continental United States. And any property parcel or property address, I can provide a comprehensive report of what that risk is, and that's where we start, right? I take a look at that. We go on site if it makes sense, or we do a virtual consultation. And then you have an individual like myself who has a fire suppression background, who understands how to read models and communicate the risk, know that the hazard's there. But if you don't understand the risk, then you don't know how to mitigate, right? We can identify hazard all day long. You have to understand the true potential of fire behavior in that geographic area, the local weather patterns. These things are layered with 20 years of historical weather data. It provides you 100 years of fire history. I know how fire burns in New Mexico. I know how fire burns in Southern California, how it burns in Northern California. I'm actively an operator in that space. And when I get punched out on an incident management team, I'm doing the best with the resources I have to protect those communities. But I'll tell you right now, the odds are stacked against us. We need to have larger scale mitigation. And the only way I know how to mitigate is to identify what that risk is and bring the appropriate resources to come in and handle that job. And that's why we've created consultancy. I was doing it for free for family, friends in different areas and ranch owners and stuff like that. And they said, hey, you guys should start a business because we have the network, we have the resources, and we're professionals. Everybody that we bring to our clients are professional. They do a job professionally and efficiently.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak to certifications or training, special training?
I mean, on the excuse me, the product level, we have a significant amount of different tests that we go through from ASTM, UL, and then also through Australia as well, and also independent testing that we've done separately outside. But then also a lot of the people that would be using our product would also be wildfire mitigation specialists from NFPA. So they've gone out and got those certifications as well to do their mitigation.
Right. We've got just a lot of questions, and I want to just let everybody know that we're going to try to get back to everyone with an email of those questions we haven't already answered. And I think that takes us to the end of the webinar, and I want to thank all the presenters and for being here and all the participants. And also wanted to let everybody know on the call about our next upcoming virtual expo, which is next Wednesday. And we have one on May 28th, as well as June 3rd and June 5th. So thank you for all being here and participating in today. And hope everybody has a great rest of your week.